Next subject, we're talking about business. For 6 years, entrepreneur Ricardo Jiménez pursued a market. He looked for customers. He looked for distributors, investors, partners, and sellers that would make his line of plush keys the next big thing around the country. Well, it was a long, hard journey. He learned a lot about starting a new business that did not work. Take a look at this. The name of his book that he wants to get across to you is Crash Course, A Founder's Journey to Saving Your Startup Insanity. He shares what it's like to pour your heart out, pour your passion, pour all your money into something. It was your dream, and it didn't work. Thanks for being with us. Let's talk about it, Ricardo.
Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
One thing's for sure, you're not the only one, but let's help some of those who are still feeling some kind of way about it. You say you learned when to let go. Tell us about that deeply. It had to be a disappointing moment when you said, it's not going anywhere, I'm letting go.
Of course, let's start then from the end, right? From the letting go, which is something that I guess you don't get many people to talk about. I think it takes a lot of honesty to start something very difficult. I think it also takes a lot of honesty to continue doing something very difficult. And going to your question, it also takes again a lot of self-honesty to realize that a project, a venture, even a relationship in which you have been putting everything you had, it's not working, and it's time to again let it go and trust. And so it's really hard, and for me, it came after I thought that I was going to devote my whole life to making this company happen. At one point, it was time to start making decisions for myself rather than for the company. I just didn't want that anymore.
Okay, so what are the questions that I should ask myself before I pour the money and time in?
That's a great. Before you put your money, so there's the business. So there's I guess there's a couple of reasons. The first one is why are we doing this? Why would you be doing this? Is this because you want to express something in the world more like a creator? It's because you want to make a lot of money. If it's because you want to make, let's start with the second one, with a lot of money, you want to make sure that what you have to offer is going to be welcomed in the market. If it's more a creative process that you're doing it for yourself, then will I be okay just doing this for myself? Am I honest enough to say I will be okay just to putting my project out there, and even though nobody buys it or nobody jumps into it?
Wow. And life comes first, business comes second, you say?
Yeah, I say that towards the end of the book. When you're an entrepreneur, you make sacrifices and you lose balance. So I always advise people that I believe in sacrifices, but you need to know for how long you're making them, to achieve what, and again, how much are you willing to sacrifice? So you sacrifice, and at one point, you need to ask yourself the question: Is this worth continuing? And for me, it came a point when I thought I need to start thinking about myself and not so much about my company.
Ironically, through that failure, you now have a book. A successful book. We've got about 30 seconds. So there are sometimes it turns around, huh?
Yes, and I think it was. I'm glad to have that experience because I think it's a book needed. We hear lots about books about how to build a company, but we don't talk about the person who needs to build a company. And when you don't meet your expectations, you end up harboring lots of emotions. And we have lost the humanity of entrepreneurship. I guess we don't have much time, but this is what makes the book different. It's a focus on the person building the company, not on the company.
Focus on the person, know your purpose. There's a lot involved in it. The name of his book is Crash Course, and the author is Ricardo Jiménez. Thanks for being with us, Ricardo. Good stuff.
Thank you so much for having me.
It's our pleasure.